everybody. My name is Corey. I am the event and account manager for the Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV show taking place in March. March 13th to the 15th in Halifax, and today is probably my most exciting day of all of the year, maybe. Definitely. Okay. So I'm so excited. I'm here sitting with Clarence from Lures for Vets, and he was kind enough to come over and talk about what he does and his part in our show. So Clarence, so much to say. Tell me about what you do and maybe Wounded Warriors and how you got started with fishing and all of this.
Okay, well, what I do is I make fishing lures. Are all tied by hand and made by hand. And it all stemmed out from me attending the Wounded Warriors Weekend Foundation retreat in 2013.
So we'll talk about that in a second. So let me just show you an example of some of the beautiful lures that Clarence makes. So Clarence, what would this be?
That is a saltwater trolling rig. Basically, for if you have your sea kayak out in the harbor, and you use it on your line or on your rod to troll in the waters for any salt water like mackerel, herring, etc.
So we'll choose one more, and maybe you can describe this as well too. This one, I think you were telling me a little bit about that. Is that similar, different?
That's very similar,
Okay.
Just a different little body.
All right, and then maybe this one as well too, because I think these are just beautiful.
This is just basically a casting spoon for rivers and lakes. So you can actually use it on your line. You can actually troll with it as well.
So Clarence, you were at our show in 2019,
Yes.
and I'm very proud to say you're going to be back for 2020. So you'll be bringing items like this to sell, and you make these all yourself, correct?
I do.
Okay, awesome. And so before Clarence tells us all about Wounded Warriors and all of the other amazing things that he does, I just want to let you know that he's so special to me because he showed up with this great t-shirt for me, which by the way has a great logo, and the best part is, look at this. Okay, this is just to die for. Woohoo! So anyway, thank you, Clarence, for
You're
that. So tell us about Wounded Warriors, how this all fits in.
Like I said, I started this whole thing after, actually, I'm going to back up. I found a passion for fishing after I came back from Wounded Warriors Weekend 2013. When I came back, I found something that worked. It gave me peace. I was able to focus, something constructive that I can actually use for my own well-being. Living with post-traumatic stress disorder, we have our ups and downs. But thanks to the Wounded Warriors Weekend Foundation, it gave me back something that I can use to basically self-medicate, for lack of better terms. You know, I can go down fishing at the river or on a lake or whatever, and I can find peace. You know, I don't have to worry about anything. So, no emotional roller coaster, you know, ups and downs when I'm at the water or on the water. So, for me to experience that and come back with that was a blessing and a joy. First words out of my mouth was, I told my wife, Krista, I need my own gear, I need my own boat, I need it now, and I need to be on the water. That's where I find my medicine.
So for those of you that might follow Clarence, because he is everywhere in the world of fishing, you will always see photos of him out on the water, and oftentimes with giant fish.
Sometimes,
I see those everywhere.
Sometimes, you know, it depends on, you know, if I'm having a good day or I have a bad day. But even a bad day of not catching anything and still being on the water is still a good day.
So for all of you out there that love fishing, you will completely understand that. So, and for those of you that haven't tried it, hopefully you'll be able to meet Clarence at the show and get inspired to do so. So you have some amazing things that you're working on. So tell me about a retreat that you are working on with our very good friends at the Nova Scotia Federation of Anglers and Hunters.
We was approached last year by Alex, Grant, and Travis about setting up a retreat. This was the Wounded Warriors Weekend Foundation was approached by them when one of their board members, Berta Grace, come down and, stayed at the show with us. So I was pleased about that. They're looking into setting up a retreat for not just the veterans, but for first responders. That'd be fire, police, paramedics, correctional, anyone that is going to experience trauma through their career. So they want to set that up. They set up a small committee, and now I've helped connect Alex to another gentleman that was out at the retreat this year, Roland Lawless. So the three or more of us are actually, getting things together to try and get this thing up and running for next year.
So this will all be in the works, so we don't want to give too much of it away because it's not complete yet. But let me assure you again, we have some amazing friends at the Nova Scotia Federation of Anglers and Hunters. Hi to everybody out there. So I'm not surprised that you're working closely with them on this, and what an amazing weekend that'll be. So yeah.
We hope so. We hope it's
Yeah.
going to turn around. This will be a first for Nova Scotia to actually host an event, as Wounded Warriors Weekend normally runs out of the West, Saskatchewan and Alberta.
Because I know that you were out to Saskatchewan doing some tournaments and doing some fishing there this summer. Is that right? Who were you affiliated with there in Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan, we was actually out there attending the Wounded Warriors Weekend Foundation retreat for the 2 weeks out there, and actually put on a tackle making seminar for all the participants. We went after, did some fishing, but the tournaments was basically involved in was in Ontario and New Brunswick. We was invited to the B1
the B1, yes. I had some friends there too. Yeah, you bet.
So through them and the Soldier On, I was invited to attend their opening season for the East Coast B1 series. They had 15 or so veterans to go with their crews for the day of fishing. So there was that, and then I attended another tournament being put on and hosted by the Real Canadian Anglers Group in Ontario. So I attended that as one of the members to go and help promote this thing through the Lions Club up there. So that was a great turnout.
So we're not kidding, Clarence is everywhere. So couple other things you need to tell me about too. What is the Rally Point retreat? Because I'm just learning about this.
Rally Point Retreat is a retreat center in Sable River, Nova Scotia. 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes outside of my hometown of Shelburne. They bring in veterans and first responders to start learning to cope with their trauma, couples, and they'll learn how to tie flies, turn pins, woodworking, and right now it's all free. So it's basically you contact them and they'll set a date, you come in and you're there for either a couple of days or up to a week. So
amazing. So Clarence was telling me about this earlier. I thought it was just fantastic, and certainly a shout out to everybody down in that area of our province too. We hope you come and visit Clarence at the show. But he's been teaching me about so many amazing things. So tell me about VRFF Newfoundland, because this is exciting too, because our show is Atlantic. So yes, we've got lots of Newfoundlanders that are coming down for our event.
VRFF Newfoundland is a new event starting up that's actually happening this weekend in Newfoundland, and it's a cod fishing derby for veterans and first responders to basically show them appreciation by the community, have them take it out for a weekend of cod fishing.
So cool. So it just fishing everywhere, all through the Atlantic Canadian provinces. So, and you are just so connected. So, two other quick things before we wrap it up here, Clarence. Who do we need to give a super shout out for this t-shirt? Because I'm seriously impressed by this.
Your t-shirt was designed by Taryn Loken. She's a friend of mine. She's the spouse of Mark Loken. They run what it's called the Veteran Directory, the Veteran Advanced Directory. And it's a listing of all veteran-owned and operated businesses throughout Canada.
Wow, yeah.
So hers is called, she's a spouse, and hers is called Niner Domestic. And the partnership I've got with Niner Domestic and Taryn is that any of the t-shirts that she does up, she will send back 5% of that t-shirt back to me to go to the Wounded Warriors Weekend Foundation retreat.
Awesome. So thank you to Taryn, correct, for this great t-shirt. So when you come down to our show, so again, you cannot be excited about our show too early. We're excited now. So this show, March 13th to 15th, you're going to be there, and you have somebody also that's going to be joining you in the booth from Ontario, is that right?
Yes, his name is Shane Brisson. He is another veteran-owned business from Toledo, Ontario.
Awesome.
His company is called Bassin-on Lures. Not only does he make jerk baits and crankbaits, but jigs as well, but he also has his own little program where it's kayak fishing.
Ah.
Yeah, so he takes veterans and first responders out kayak fishing. So instead of being in a fast-paced boat, you're moving slow and really close to the water.
Excellent. So we're excited to meet Shane too. So as we wrap up here, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and visit. We were so proud to have Clarence at our show last year, and it was truly one of the highlights of our big year. We had a huge show last year. Can't wait for this year. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Willow later on. So we'll be giving some more info on that. But so as a result of you attending our show last year, Clarence, and selling your beautiful lures and talking to everybody, you told me that you made a special presentation as well from that?
Yes, with the sales and everything else and the donations that came in, we helped raise just under $500 to the Wounded Warriors Weekend Foundation.
So on behalf of Darwin Event Group, we're the promoters for the Atlantic Outdoor Sports and RV Show. Our nonprofits are very, very, very close to our hearts at the show. We are so pleased to have Clarence there. Thank you so much for all that you do, for these great connections. A shout out to absolutely everybody we mentioned today. And again, the big countdown is on to our show, so we can see you again.
Certainly.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.